Hello everybody and welcome back to Boss Flights. I'm the Bkbossman and we are back playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And today we are taking a short flight from the Dyma airstrip in the Ukraine, and this should be an interesting flight for everybody involved. Going to take a short flight up the Dnieper River. Let's get our flaps down and get a nice takeoff done. I'm doing a new series where we're going to start having a look at disaster zones. So from a few of those clues there, the fact that we're in the Ukraine, the location of the airstrip itself should give you a little bit of an idea of where we are. Let's just get ourselves up to a decent height. Get ourselves. Okay. So, as I said, we are in the northern Ukraine. Good look around. Very pretty area by the look of it. Lots of trees, lots of fields, lots of space. And just ahead of us is the Dnieper River, not the one below us, but there we go. If you look just to the left of my tail fin there, you'll see it starting coming into focus there. So that's the Dnieper River. And what we're going to do is going to just follow along the side of it. Now, if anybody has been watching any of the new series that are appearing on the television recently, you will have noticed one that is actually focusing in the area that we're flying in today. And the area that we are flying into very shortly is called Prip'yat. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a short flight over the Chernobyl Power Station. History records this as the biggest ever radiation disaster of all time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves up this way and we'll have a look and see what that looks like from the air. I say, looking around, the area is expansive. Ukraine's actually, I believe, an incredibly flat country, which does show actually when you're flying across it in this game. The elevation gains that they produce in playing this game are usually pretty accurate. So when you get to a place like this, you see exactly how flat it is. It really is an expansive place to look at. I mean, you can literally see the curvature of the Earth. Now just up to the left, just above my rotors now, you're going to see the Prip'yat reservoir. And that is going to be the aim for our fly past of the Chernobyl Power Station. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a little fly past over the station itself, and then we're going to go up the main connection between the station and the centre itself of Prip'yat, where we'll find the actual town centre, which I believe is just Lenin Avenue, I believe, and just behind that you'll find the amusement park. But we'll take a nice low flyby over the station. A couple of facts there. The disaster itself happened on the 26th of April 1986, and reactor number 4 exploded and basically rained hell on this town. And something like 3 or 4 days before anybody was evacuated. The actual blast itself caused fewer than 100 deaths, and most of the deaths that have actually come from this disaster happened post the accident due to a lack of radiation treatment available at the time. We'll start reducing our speed and doing a slow descent now. As I said, I want to come across the reservoir nice and low. Now, although it's not been modelled, you will be able to see the dome on the maps. They've actually put in a protective dome made out of steel and polycarbonate at a cost of £2.1 billion. $2.1 billion actually. And that took 9 years to build, from September 2010 to July 2019. Just drop our speed down there before we start tearing my plane apart. We are evidently well within the 1,000 square mile exclusion zone as well. Got the speed right down now. So we'll call this an inspection flight. One of the best things about Microsoft Flight Simulator is indeed the ability to fly to places that you're not supposed to. Incidentally as well, if you look below us right now, that is actually the town of Chernobyl. It's actually nowhere near the power station itself, although obviously well linked to it by name. As I said, we'll just take a nice low flight over this reservoir. And get a good look at the power station and the city itself. I do like a nice slow flight. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I do like to get low down to the ground, even though it sets off all the warnings on the plane. Makes it complain about what I'm doing. I'm going to follow this causeway up through the middle. I wonder if that's a specific purpose. Might be something worth looking into. Prip'yat and Chernobyl, the power station, places that I've always been really curious about. Somewhere I'd love to visit one day. Incidentally, you can actually visit the area now, but you only have to stay for a maximum of 4 hours because you can still die from the radiation there. And they believe it'll be another 10,000 years before human life will actually be able to settle in this area again. Now we're starting to get a bit of a sight of the power station and the city itself. Throttle up a bit. Just as we level off. Okay. So just above my left wing, you can see the beginnings of the power station itself. There's actually a cooling tower just here, and I think it needs a little more height on it. Just above my wing, literally right above my wing now, is supposed to be a cooling tower. And here we have the power station. Looking at nice and low over there. That's the power station just to the right hand side there. As I said, evidently well within the exclusion zone at this point. Now if you look just towards the end there, where there are a few random houses, that's actually where the dome itself should be. You can actually see the silver of the dome there. That's it, right there by my wingtip, right now. And now we're going to go into the town itself. Here's the town, the road into the town. I'll double check my facts, but I believe this is actually Lenin Avenue that we're over now. Following this path straight through the middle, and this is actually, at the top there is where the central square is. Right above my propeller now, that's where the central square is. And if you know anything about Pripyat, you'll know that there is an abandoned amusement park, which is actually right under where we're going to be right now. That's the central square, and that there is where the amusement park is. So we're just going to do one more quick circle. Have a quick look around, look at all of this. The scary thing about flying over this is it genuinely does look abandoned. I mean, everywhere else I've been in Flight Simulator, there's always been more air traffic, there's always been more cars driving around. And for reasons that I can't explain, I can't see any movements at all. And I find it actually quite unnerving to fly over. To think that this is effectively an enormous scar on the Eastern European landscape. I mean, it's huge, and there's nobody there in any of it. Let's take one final flight across the left side of the power station itself. Get nice and low for this final pass here. Just passing the dome there, just to the right. There she is. And the main power station itself. Almost does look like something bad has happened there, that there's some kind of collapse, doesn't it? So I'm thinking about doing a new series of parts of the world which are fairly infamous. This is obviously one of the really big ones. But if you have any comments, suggestions of other places that we can go to, that's what the comment section is for. Put them in there, tell me what you want to see, and I shall take my plane and go for a little flight around. As we just finish off with this absolutely gorgeous view over the lake, just savour that for just a few seconds. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe my videos. It gives me an idea of what you're enjoying, what you want to see more of, and I will make sure that whatever is liked and subscribed to the most will see more of that footage. In the meantime though, I am the Bkbossman. You've been watching Boss Bites. Thanks very much for watching.